I really like everything about the way he plays. He's got good size. He's a good skater. I think he's got good hockey sense. I think he's a centerman, but I believe he can play anywhere in the 3-4 positions. So we just think he's a really good, solid, all-around hockey player.
Was the way he performed at Worlds and then the SHL playoffs, maybe especially, I mean, a teenager playing against men, something you looked at?
Yeah, well, it certainly helped. Our scouts, Chris and the staff, really have liked him all year. Certainly playing in the playoffs in particular and playing very well was really encouraging for us.
And you like him in Rögle? Is that where he's going to stay in Rögle next year?
I'm not really sure yet. Honestly, I don't have an answer to that yet. He's under contract with Rögle. We decide what's best. We get a chance to talk to him about it. So I don't want to say definitively one or the other at this point.
You say on the broadcast you thought he had underrated skill. Could you kind of take us through what you see in that part of his game?
Well, I would say he's not super flashy in backhand toe drags and whatever, the Michigan and all that stuff. He just kind of plays. He makes the right play. He can make a he can make a pass. He's got a good shot. Can carry the puck up the ice. It's just not flashy. He's very efficient.
When you think about how he'll create offense in the NHL, I imagine a lot of it's skating and being able to take the puck to the net.
I think he's really fundamentally sound. I like the way he plays. He plays very simple. He drives hard to the net. He'll drive down the wing. He can take the puck to the net. He'll also pull up, look for the late guy, or he can find the guy through the seam. So, I think he's a good all-around player. He's not a different player than a Pavel Datsyuk or whatever who has all those incredible moves. Those guys are unique, but it doesn't mean he's not a really skilled guy.
Well, where he plays next year, will that somewhat be determined by whether or not, I know in Sweden he may not play center, and if you have him in Grand Rapids, maybe he'd play more at the center spot. Will that factor into it, or as opposed to playing wing or something?
Well, I think the first thing we would like to do is sit down with Marco and talk to him about really what he wants to do. And, we have a good relationship with the people in Rögle. It's a great program. We'll kind of take it a step at a time, but we want to sit down and talk to him. We'll talk to Rögle, see what the plan is, and we'll figure out what's best for him.
How much does it benefit just to have a development camp and have the guy come in? And I think you talk to them about nutrition, just a whole bunch of stuff, just kind of.
Well, we like that. The kids have varying experience, knowledge, education on fitness, diet, you name it. So we like bringing them in and get a chance to show them our facilities, meet all of our staff. We get to know them a little bit, get to kind of do a little bit more fitness testing and see what, if anything, they need to focus on. And they just get to know us a little bit. So it's great to go right from here back to Detroit.
Sorry. I know you didn't pick him for the position, but how good is it to get a top center here in the top 10 here?
Well, it's certainly, you all where you kind of look at, we don't have a lot of, centers within the system, but I could say that about a couple other positions too. So we weren't necessarily targeting a center, but certainly another area that needs to be addressed.
How helpful is it to have a centerman who could play on the wing?
Pardon me?
How helpful is it to have a centerman who could play on the wing?
Well, it just gives you a little bit of flexibility. Gives you options. You've seen it more in the past where you'll see centermen go to the wing more so than wingers go to center for whatever reason. I don't know. Might have a bias to that, but I just say it just gives you more options and more flexibility to do things. But ultimately, I don't want to say he's absolutely going to be a centerman, but that's what we feel he is, and we'll figure it out. Wherever the best position for him to play is, we'll let him play there.
Do you, I know he played a little bit with Cider 2 years ago and played against Edmonton. Do you ask them at all, their thoughts on him, or just have a little bit of familiarity?
No, we really, Drape, Chris, and the staff might have, but I didn't. We had so many good character references on him, and our scouts in Europe know him really well. So, we didn't. I didn't. Maybe Chris, and you could ask Chris. I think he's coming to talk to you if they reached out to those guys.
What's his best trait in your mind?
He's a Detroit Red Wing now. I like every part of his game. I think he's a strong skater. I think he moves the puck well. I think he sees the ice well. I really love how hard he competes and drives to the net. So I wouldn't really point to one part of his game that I think really stands out. I think he's good at everything. Good defensive player, a well-rounded player for 18 years old.
When we chatted with him, he talked a lot about his compete level. What did you like about him as a person off the ice?
Well, I got to spend 20 minutes with him, so he made a good first impression on me. But Chris has got tremendous character references. Our staff got to know him very well over the course of the season. Our impression, he's an extremely driven young man, very focused on being an NHL player, and very mature for